Alright, so we're working on section 3.5 still, and this is a scheduling problem. And in this case, it's very similar to the last problem. We have a police force that has the following shifts with the following minimum number of people per shift needed. So the midnight to 4 a.m. shift has 8 people, 4 to 8 a.m. has 7, 8 to 12 has 6, 12 to 4 p.m. has 6, and then 5 for the other 2 shifts. Good. We want to formulate an LP that minimizes the number of officers we need. So the main thing here is that each person has to work 2 consecutive shifts. Okay. So how should we set this up? Well, as in the last problem, what would be wrong in saying let xi be the number of officers for shift I? And then we would just let x1, well, this will be shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shift. Okay. Well, the problem with that is that there's going to be, yeah. Would that work? Well, that doesn't say anything about consecutive shifts, right? That's the big problem. And so, how about instead of doing that, there's actually 2 ways you could do this. One way is to let xij be the number of officers working shifts I and j. And now the only variables that we're going to be using then are the I and j where we have consecutive shifts, right? So for example, we would have x12, x23, x34, x45, x56, x61, right? And then we would stop. Good. So then you can see here, for shift 1, we have x12 working and x61 working. And then shift 2, we have x23 working and any others. x12. I should have put 12 first. And so on. Good. And so I think it's pretty straightforward then to set up our problem with this. So I just wanted to bring this up because sometimes having a double subscript is a nice way of arranging a pattern that you need. So in this case, the pattern that we needed was that I and j needed to be consecutive numbers. Very good. All right. Of course, there is a second alternative as well. Second alternative is you could say let xi be the number of officers starting on shift I, because then you could just assume that the second shift is I plus 1. So it would just be I and I plus 1 would be the 2 shifts that you would be working. But I think using this xij will be helpful in the homework. Okay, so that's why we went ahead and did that there. Very good. Okay, so I will let you go ahead and finish off that LP. It's interesting again to see if you can solve that in Excel. It's pretty straightforward. All right, so the next video, we're going to skip sections 3.6 and 7 and go right into 3.8, which will be the blending problem. Okay, see you then.